Hi there. Dr. Dynamite here. Today I am going to talk about cannibalism, the phenomenon of humans eating another human, history, reasons, myths, and also present a modern case in our time. There are many anthropologists who believe that cannibalism was common in human societies during the Stone Age, which stretches between 50,000 and 10,000 years ago. The theory is suggested by the many butchered human bones found in Neanderthal sites around the world. Remains of human bones and skulls, about 15,000 years old, have been found in England, in a cave, and the remains suggest that people used to use the skulls as drinking vessels. Archaeologists discovered physical evidence 2,000 years old in various sites in United Kingdom. The general belief is still that cannibalism was specific to Pacific islands and nations, such Fiji, New Zealand, Polynesia, where food is scarce and meat supply is limited, but evidence shows cannibalism took place basically everywhere in the world, from ancient Americas, Africa, Europe and Asia. In 1809 an incident took place in today's New Zealand, where 66 passengers of a ship were killed and eaten by Maori indigenous people. The Korowo tribes in Papua New Guinea are still believed to be practicing cannibalism today as a cultural and religious ritual, and the local government's wishes to support the myth, to encourage tourism. Yeah, that's right. The government of Papua would like to invite you to visit tribes of cannibals today. They cannot promise you will see it, but they are happy to take your money and show you some bones around people dancing around the fire. Other than the basic need for one to be fed, this practice or ritual is about power, to teach others obedience. One human eating another human is an expression of dominance. There is one tribal chief in Fiji who ate 872 people and made a pile of stones to record his triumph. Cannibalism is also a belief for whoever is practicing it, that one can take some of the characteristics of the person on the plate. So, that makes sense a bit. If you want to be smarter, you kill the wiser guy, or if you wish to be gorgeous, you kill and eat the hot babe from the tribe. Cannibalism has been occasionally practiced as a last resort from famine and starvation. It has been documented that survivors in a plane crash in 1972 in Uruguay have eaten fellow dead passengers' bodies as a last resort. Also, survivors of a shipwrecks in 19th century have engaged in cannibalism, eating people already dead, and that was deemed as necro-cannibalism. The question arises from a legal perspective if this is a crime. Killing someone, for food or not, is a crime in any circumstances, but eating already dead corpse triggers few gray areas of the law. Another reason for cannibalism is mental illness. Unfortunately, there are examples of mentally ill people who would kill and eat their victims as a sexual satisfaction. That is kind of scary. As an example, we can mention Albert Fish, an American serial killer, known as the Gray Man, or the Brooklyn Vampire, or the Boogeyman, who raped over 100 children and ate parts of their bodies. He was caught and put on trial, convicted and executed by electric chair. There are many other cases of serial killers with cannibalism aspects. There are reports of self-cannibalism as well, of people trying to consume part of their own bodies, but this is another mental disorder in the schizophrenia categories. Issei Sagawa is a Japanese man born in 1949, who murdered and cannibalized a Dutch woman in Paris. He got arrested and he became a minor celebrity in Japan after his return. He was in Paris studying literature at Sorbonne Academy, where he met Renée Hartfeld, a classmate. He invited her to dinner under the pretext to translate German poetry. He shot her in the neck with a rifle and he commenced his plan to eat her, starting with her buttocks, but failed, so he went out to buy a butcher knife to cut her easier. Apparently he fainted first, but awoke shortly, and he did have sex with the corpse. He was surprised seeing corn-colored human fat. He remembers eating different parts of her body and he mentioned it tastes like raw tuna. He attempted to dump the remains in a lake, but he was seen and caught by French police. Sagawa stated that he chose her for her beauty and health, characteristics that he did not have. He was found legally insane and ordered to be retained in a mental institution. He was extradited to Japan where he was found sane, as he declared to psychiatrists and psychologists that the reason for his murder was sexual perversion. Japanese authorities have released him due to lack of court documents kept secret in France, so there was no legal reason to keep him in detention. He became a free man in 1986. He was often invited as a guest speaker and commentator, and he had written restaurant reviews for Japanese magazines. I am wondering how that worked and if Japanese people could not see the irony. He appeared also in a movie as a sadomasochistic voyeur. But there was a lot of criticism around his case, and after few attempts to write books and participate in interviews, he started to be rejected by publishers, or any possible employers, until his life took a turn for the worse and he moved into social housing, being completely rejected by society. His thoughts turned to suicide. This is where the story ends. Conclusion: one human eating another human is something that still exists, and as shocking it does sound, there are other examples of animals who eat themselves, and even worse, females eating males during sexual intercourse, such the Australian redback spider. So now thinking about it, cannibalism is not that uncommon. All these scary stories make me wonder. How would a cannibal wake up in the morning, and feeling like eating a member of his community, or would it be an enemy? Would they choose the victim on the day, or they would plan many days in advance? How would they call the food? Roasted John, or Spicy Helen with salad and chips? Would they serve it for tasting to others? Would they use the bones for soup? There are so many questions, and if you are thinking of one, feel free to leave it in the comments section down below. I am pretty sure we will still hear about it in the future, but that is enough scary stuff for now, as I need to be fit for my next lunch. Thanks for watching. Yours truly, Dr. Dynamite.